We are at the vet. There you see it. The Millikan Rams with a 6-4 record taking on the mighty Los Alamitos Griffins, Sunset League champs, 9-0-1. And let's go downstairs and listen in on the coin toss. Well, there you have it. Millikan will receive to get things started off. Los Alamitos will take the ball in the second half. We are just a few minutes away from the kickoff here in round one. There's Coach John Barnes and Len Venger. This is the time of the year you live for.
Absolutely, and the first decision that Coach Barnes had to make, he's going to put his defense on the field. He won the toss. He elects to put the defense on the field. He is saying, we can stop your run, and then we're going to get the ball and we're going to score, and we're going to get the ball again to begin the second half. A decision that Coach Barnes occasionally will take the ball, by the way, but not in this game. He's saying to the world, my defense is going to do the job.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the way in which the four leagues that went into the bracketing for Division I. There you see the Sunset League, Los Alamitos 1, Esperanza number 2. The key thing here, when you look to your right with the Moore League and Long Beach Poly, the goal is to end up on the opposite side of them, hopefully to see them in the final, something Los Alamitos hasn't had the luxury of over the past few years.
But they did it this time, and of course, check out that Sarah League, Fritz. The whole league made the playoffs. They are awfully good. Santa Margarita at 6-4 is a team that you have to watch out for, and I believe that they drew Esperanza in the first round, and indeed, as we look at it, we in fact see Esperanza playing Santa Margarita, and that's going to be a tough game for Esperanza. There's Los Al at the bottom of the bracket, the number 2 seed, and of course Poly at the top. They get Edison, and that should not be a problem. But after Edison, it does get tough for Long Beach Poly. Similarly, by the way, St. John Bosco is out there waiting for Los Alamitos. They want the rematch.
Well, and you've got to say that any of the teams that Los Alamitos face, Bosco being one of them, they are going to be a different team. They are going to be a team in which has a full regular season under their belt, and you see different styles and different efforts when it comes to the playoffs because there is no tomorrow.
As you pointed out at the top of the show, Fritz, this is sudden death. Loser goes home for the year. Winner moves on. Some team, and only one team out of these 16, is about to have a 4-game winning streak.
Well, Coach John Barnes in his 24th season, you see him there in the jacket. 215 career wins, 69 losses, and 3 ties. Last year, Los Alamitos was 9-3-1, had a share of the league title, shared it with Edison. This year, Edison squeaked into the playoffs, but Los Alamitos went out in round 2, 28-7 loss against Long Beach Poly, and you hear it being discussed around town. The Griffins feel like this may be the year in which they can actually meet Poly in the Division I final and be competitive. Those are two very different issues. It's tough to be competitive against a team as strong as Poly.
Well, no question about that. Poly's got that one loss, of course, but that's only against Concord de La Salle, simply the best team in the country, no question about that. We have been told, Fritz, that the practices of the Los Alamitos Griffins have been very intense during the course of the week. They appear to be ready to go, and we're going to see them kick off momentarily. And Kevin Gamarnik, of course, as you saw there, number 6, will be the guy who will be kicking off for the Griffins. He's put a lot of them in the end zone this year, meaning no run back. So that's quite a weapon for the Griffins on special teams.
Well, back standing on his 3-yard line for the Millikan Rams is Martin Tate. And he will undoubtedly either be watching that ball sail over his head like we have seen so many times, or he will have an opportunity to return it. Kilmarnock getting things teed up. Interesting formation right off the bat for Millikan.
Well, of course, they're going to spread that out when the Griffins get around to spreading out. There they go. Griffins spread out, and as a result, Millikan then spreads out. And there you see Martin Tate ready. He's one of the two big running backs for the Millikan Rams, and we'll see him run the ball quite a bit tonight.
Jason Miller on the far side stands at his 11, and Roderick Edwards, number 4, on the near side, and Tate watches it fly over. So that will bring up the offense for the Rams. Reggie Foster, he is the very talented quarterback. Martin Tate, Michael Cerna, and Jason Ramos, the running backs. Wide receiver David Brown, he won't see much action in the air. Kirkendall is the tight end, and then Ray, Starterly, Lopez, Perez, and Braithwaite, the down lineman there on the offensive line. And that offensive line is going to have a lot of bodies flying at them, as you see Los Alamitos in their run defense. And quickly getting things started is Martin Tate trying to get around the corner, and we saw a little bit of that breakaway speed, but cannot make the turn as we look at the defense for Los Alamitos. Dolis, Jark, Lee, and Cherie, the 4 down linemen. The linebackers Olmstead, Doby, and Johnson. The corners Mentor and Cason, and your free safety Randy Estes and Daniel Dykes. Undoubtedly, we are going to see those guys playing as close to the line of scrimmage as we've probably seen since Huntington Beach matched up against the Griffins.
A lot of them will be in the box, and they're going to be used for run support tonight, Fritz.
There you see it. Foster's going to keep it.
And Reggie Foster, the quarterback, is, as a matter of fact, Fritz, the leading ground gainer for the Millikan Rams during the course of the year. So he's going to be doing a lot of running, and you're going to be calling his name out a lot tonight.
Well, before tonight's contest, 102 carries, 682 yards, almost a 7-yard average, 12 touchdowns on the season. And when I talked with Coach Diego, he said this young man is the most talented athlete on the field, getting all the action and attention from the D1 schools as you see him dive forward.
And he's short of the first down by about a yard, so he did not make the first down. It's going to be 4th and 1, and Millikan bringing out now their punting unit. They're going to have to give up the football. They go 3 and out, and that's something that no doubt they are not happy about on their first drive of the game.
Back deep for Los Alamitos, standing on his 40-yard line is Tripp. Frolon Sanchez going to get things going in the air. 5'9", 165-pound junior. He'll let this one rip from about the 15-yard line. Big-time rush by Los Alamitos. Tripp's going to field this one on the bounce. Quickly taken down by number 4, Roderick Edwards.
Edwards, only a 150-pound junior with a lot of speed. He was able to get Brandon Tripp and bring him down, but the Griffins in excellent field position for their first possession on their own 40-yard line.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the offense for Los Alamitos. You see Klein there, the senior quarterback. Bagley, his running back. You've got the wide receivers Childs, Tripp, Trudeau, and will come back as Klein gets it out to Tripp. Tripp getting around the corner and spun forward, gets out to the 50-yard line before he's thrown out of bounds. Let's take another look at those wide receivers, Childs, Tripp, Trudeau, and Mandis. And that offensive line, Chris Orozco, Steinhauser, Snyder, Cluey, and Rollins. Finally, that offensive line back and healthy.
And I don't know how many people noticed it, but the tackle on that play was made by the quarterback, Reggie Foster. He's playing defense. He goes both ways.
Bagley's going to get the call, goes right up the middle. Taken down just shy of the 40-yard line. All they needed was 1 for the first down, so the change will move early for the Griffins.
And just like that, the Griffins move in to Ram territory at about the 42-yard line. So the Griffins now with an early first down. And one of the things that you have to watch for about the Rams is getting a little tired because a lot of their players play offense and defense.
Klein, they're going to fake it, giving this to Mandis. Mandis gets around the corner, has some great blocking downfield. Number 77, Daniel Espinoza. And let's look at that defense. They are going to be challenged tonight. Daniel Kirkendall, Ramos, Mason, the down linemen, the linebackers, Foster, Cerna, Redden, Peel, and Christensen, and then Miller and Edwards, the corners, and then Brown is your free safety, and we're already seeing that defense out of position and being physically blown off the ball as Los Alamitos picks up another first down. Klein, he's going to keep it, gets that out to Trudeau. Trudeau's run out at about the 6-yard line. So Los Alamitos mixing it up on the run and in the air, keeping the Rams off balance.
Oh, they're unquestionably off balance, and some good misdirection there, some good faking by Los Alamitos, and the Rams very confused here in their defense on the first Griffin drive, and Griffin's already at the 8-yard line.
9:05 here in the first quarter. Klein, he's going to keep it. Going to the corner, going to give a stiff arm. Run out of bounds by number 3, Jason Miller.
And Miller ran him out about 30 yards, I might add. But Klein showing very good speed, and it looks like the Griffins have a lot more speed on the outside than the Rams, and they're going outside very successfully. They're down at the 3, second and goal.
Jeff Klein on the season, 69 carries, 260 yards, 8 touchdowns, and that he can add to his 12 touchdown total in the air. Klein very quick to get outside. They're going to give this one to Bagley. Bagley will be short of the goal line.
And that is probably the first good defensive play of the game for the Rams, as they do stop Bagley at about the 1.5 yard line, and the Griffins now in a 3rd and goal. Coach Barnes talking to his quarterback, sending the play in. Looks fairly relaxed now on the sideline. Ball, as you see there, at the 1 yard line.
3rd down and 1 for the Griffins.
That's offsides, I think, against Millikan, Fritz. I thought I saw somebody jump on defense. Let's see.
Wait for the call. That is against the Rams, so deep in their own territory. That'll be half the distance, so we are now inside the 1 yard line. Scoreboard shows the ball on the 1, remains 3rd down and 1. So the Griffins pick up a couple of feet on that penalty. I formation. They're going to give it to Bagley. Bagley goes in untouched for the first score of the game.
Fritz, that's a hole that I think you and I could have gotten through. We might have scored on that play. Bagley jumps right through the line, absolutely untouched. I formation, hand off to the tailback, and there's almost nobody to block. They were looking, the fullback was looking for somebody to block and couldn't find anybody. Bagley easily in.
Well, and for Los Alamitos, they had almost all the defensive linemen on the ground as Gamarnik punches it through. So quickly, with 8 minutes even on the board remaining in the first quarter, Los Alamitos jumps out on top, 7-0 over the Millikan Rams.
60-yard drive for Los Alamitos, and it was downright effortless as the Griffins go down the field. The one penalty against Millikan didn't really hurt them. It didn't matter. Griffins completely manhandled the Rams and controlled the ball as they take the 7-0 lead. Exactly what you want to do if you're a number 2 seed is demoralize the opposition early and just let them believe they can't win the game.
Well, in Los Alamitos, chipping away at that plan very quickly. So before you know it, the Rams are going to get the ball back. And we have somebody back deep now, Jaquan Elster. And he is going to field this right on the 5-yard line. And moving right up the middle, finding a lane, still on his feet, breaking a tackle, still on his feet, trying to get outside, gets over the 40-yard line. And Elster, the 5'11", 165-pound junior, gives a ray of hope. And I think if you're Los Alamitos, the key tonight may be to keep your head in the game, jumping out to such an early lead.
Well, the Griffins are so used to Gamarna kicking it in the end zone, and here's a place he didn't, but there'll be some missed tackles here. Watch it. There's a couple of missed tackles right there by Los Alamitos. Sloppy tackling. As a result, runner able to get out to the 40-yard line. However, it's going to be called back. My.
Richard Ramirez for Millikan with the penalty. Let's see what the call is. Personal foul. So just when the Rams had something going in their favor, Ramirez commits the penalty. So 7:51, that moves the ball back. Get started on the 25-yard line. Now that's back-to-back penalties, and already we start to see the Rams self-destructing as two of the linemen jumped offside.
Barely 4 minutes gone, Fritz. Already 3 penalties committed by the Rams, and suddenly, instead of the ball out at the 41-yard line, it's now out at the 21-yard line. So they are definitely going backwards here.
Talking with Kirk Diego, the second-year coach for the Rams, he said, we have to play a perfect game. We have to have our standout players, our marquee players, have great games, and we will be okay. Well, I don't think you could say that with the first few minutes gone here in the first quarter, that anyone on the Rams has really stood out, as we see Foster get taken down from behind, and the penalties not helping the Rams.
Well, that was a blitz, actually, by number 21, Antoine Cason. He blitzed from way on the outside right and was able to get in and bring Foster down. I believe that was going to be a pass play, but the Griffins smelled it, and they're flat out going backwards, Fritz. They're now on their own 17.
Well, and keep in mind, this ball was returned to beyond the 40-yard line, and 2 penalties and a play for loss, and there's another loss. Ball's on the ground. That's picked up by Doby. They're going to say that the ground caused it. So the Millikan Rams moving backwards and quickly. Ball started out on the 25-yard line. 2 plays later, they're on the 17.
And they got to get out to the 36-yard line for a first down. So they've got to make nearly 20 yards. And this is third and very long. And this is a team that doesn't pass very well. So their odds of getting the first down are pretty slim.
Well, Reggie Foster is 20 completions of 51 attempts, averaging 2 completions per game.
Oh, wow.
Foster going to go back. Well, he had a man open, Martin Tate, but threw it well over his head. I'm assuming, well, of course, I guess when you need to get out to, the 36-yard line, completing a 3-yard pass is not going to get it done. So 6:24, that'll bring up 4th down, and Tripp will stand back to receive the ball from Sanchez. Tripp's going to stand on his 46-yard line.
Actually, he's on the
Millikan's
Ram
46-yard line.
The Griffins bound to get good field position here.
And the Griffins looking like they're going to bring everybody. Tripp will take this one out of the air, find some running room on the far side. Gets around the corner before being taken out by Jason Miller. So a lot of these names we're calling, Len Venger, going both ways. Statisticians counted 5, maybe 6. That's going to make for a long game for some of these kids.
Oh, they're going to get tired pretty quick, and they're already in trouble here in the first quarter. Griffins will start this drive at the 34-yard line of the Rams. Second possession of the game for Los Alamitos. Good field position. We're not even halfway through the first quarter, but I think finally we now have a penalty against Los Al. Might be delay a game. No, it's against Millikan. Oh, my goodness.
Well, what is that, 4th penalty of the game?
Yes, sir.
And we are not even midway through the first quarter, and there you see the coaching staff pacing. That is frustration time, because it is far too late into the season to be having this many penalties. They're going to give this one to Bagley. Bagley stays on his feet, second time tonight he has been taken down by the shirt tails, but not before he gets across the 20-yard line, picks up an easy first down.
And by the way, for those who want to know what that penalty had been about, it was an illegal substitution by the Rams. That cost them 5. Griffins just took care of the other 5, got their first down inside the 20-yard line, and the Millikan Rams just their defense in shambles here in the first quarter.
Well, fresh set of downs for Klein. Got Childs and Tripp on the near side. They're going to give this one to Bagley. Bagley dancing around just shy of the 15-yard line before being taken down by a host of Millikan Rams, led by number 44, Jason Ramos.
Klein bringing in the play here. The Rams already look a little winded and tired, Fritz, even now on the football field. They do not look very intense out there.
Well, for Coach John Barnes, he wanted to take them out of it as quickly as he could. Cross the middle to Mandis. That one skips on the ground and will be waved incomplete.
Well, you got good eyes. For a minute there, it looked to me like he caught the ball, but I think you're absolutely right. All right, let's check the play. There's Mandis, and the ball hits the ground, Fritz. Way to go. Old Eagle Eyes.
Well, the binoculars don't hurt either.
Aha.
So the ball sits on the 16-yard line. 5:08 here in the first quarter. That's 3rd and 7 for the Griffins. This is probably 2-down territory as Klein goes to the air. Plenty of time. Finally finding someone else open, and Tripp makes a circus catch for the touchdown into triple coverage. Len Venger, like throwing darts.
Well, I'll tell you, first of all, Klein had all day to throw. At the very end, he gets a big rush, and what a catch you will see by Brandon Tripp. Look how much time Klein has here. He's waiting. He's waiting. Finally, he's rushed. Heaves it into the end zone. Triple coverage. Tripp. Oh, my. Good catch. What a great throw by Jeff Klein.
Well, Gomarnik lines it up for the extra point.
He missed it.
And that is no good. So last week, Gomarnik was perfect. Misses the extra point there, and boy, you don't like to see that during the playoffs. 1-point games can mean the difference between playing next week and sitting home.
Well, I don't think they're going to have to worry about it tonight. Certainly, we've seen nothing to indicate that Millikan is ready to match the Griffins in skill. But you're absolutely right. Gomarnik has missed some extra points late in the year. Griffins now having trouble on that part of their special teams, and that could be a serious problem in the future games in the playoffs.
Well, before tonight's contest, he was 40 of 43. 2 attempts tonight now makes him 41 of 45.
And all 4 of those missed extra points came, I think, somewhere between games 7 and 10.
Well, as you say, probably not going to make much of a difference tonight. Standing back is Elster. He had the nice return, and Gomarnik puts it right back into his hands. It's going to be fielded on the 8-yard line. Elster runs right into a host of Griffins. And so Reggie Foster will set up shop on the 17-yard line.
And poor field position for Millikan.
Check that, make it the 19-yard line.
On their 3rd possession of the game. And offensively and defensively, the Millikan Rams have not shown us very much. And the last thing you want, if you are the underdog playing against the powerhouse, is to get 2 touchdowns behind this early in the game. Only 7 minutes gone in the game.
Well, Foster comes in. Foster's going to keep it. This is actually the play the Griffins were concerned about. Coming up was DJ Dykes there for the tackle. Foster, in his talented option running game, puts that ball in the gut of a variety of running backs and then will pull it out and follow that fullback. Jason Ramos, 240-pound junior, is the lead blocker on that. Reggie Foster gets a nice pickup, so that'll be a pickup of 9. That'll bring up 2nd down and 1. Foster's going to keep it again.
He's got the first down.
So finally, for Millikan, picks up a first down. They were moving backwards on the last series.
That's their first down of the football game, Fritz, and that's got to give them some sense of relief. Very good faking on the line of scrimmage by Millikan. That's what happens in that option. Sometimes that ball goes right into the gut of a halfback. You'd think the halfback's got it and is going to run, but Foster in the end pulls it away and runs himself.
Reggie Foster, 6 foot, 182-pound junior. Going to go right up the middle, gets across the 35-yard line.
Very tight offensive formation by the Millikan Rams. Very little spread between the offensive linemen.
Obi Umbagawu with the carry.
Easy for you to say.
Number 41.
Coach Diego obviously concerned early in the game with his team down 13-0.
That'll bring up 2nd down and 7. Foster going to give it to number 44, Jason Ramos, the 240-pound junior, and he rumbles and stumbles out near the 40-yard line. Under 3 minutes left here in the first quarter.
And for those who would think about calling this 3 yards in a cloud of dust offense, you'd be right.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 for the Rams. So big opportunity for the Rams late in the first quarter to keep this drive alive. They need 2 yards, or else they've got to turn it back over to the offense of the Griffins, who've scored on each possession. We've got a flag on the play.
Fumble.
Loose
Actually,
ball.
fumble. It's a fumble.
Still loose.
Who's got it? Los Alamitos has it. Disaster for the Millikan Rams.
Well, number 44, Jason Ramos, with the carry, only needed 2.
And he dropped the ball. There it is on the ground. We see it. Nobody saw it at first. Finally, people see the football. Everybody dives for it. I have no idea who recovered it, but that is what player recovered it. We know the Griffins have it inside the 40 of the Rams.
Well, that may have been Estes. Yeah, number 24, Estes, got it. All kinds of time for Klein as he gets flushed out of the pocket. And I'll tell you, that offensive line for the Griffins is giving Klein all that he needs. For the Rams, they needed 2 yards for the first down and miscued on the handoff between Foster and Ramos. And again, probably one of the downsides to that ball in the gut, because as the running back, you don't know if you're going to get it or not. It's a split-second decision. Obviously, the rock hit the ground, and Griffin's got it.
Exactly right, and they fumbled a lot this year, Fritz. You have that stat? I think they fumbled about 26 times and lost maybe 17 of them.
I've got it here somewhere. I'll get it to you in a moment. Turn in the corner for Los Alamitos. And riding the line is Ryan Bagley. Wow.
Bagley doing a great job tiptoeing along the sideline, and he's going to make it all the way down to the 13-yard line. Klein getting in the shotgun. Good job by Tripp to go left on the outside. Now watch him tiptoe right down the sideline. Somehow he didn't go out of bounds. Great camera work, guys, down to the 13-yard line.
You had mentioned, Len, the fumbles on the season for the Rams. 29 fumbles, of which they lost 17 of them. It's tough to stay in a game when you turn the ball over as Klein rolls out. That is complete. Should be enough for the first down. So for Los Alamitos, they are now inside the 5-yard line. Montoya with the catch.
Total domination so far in the football game by the Griffins. They are on the brink of their 3rd score here in the first quarter alone. This is only the 3rd possession of the football game for Los Alamitos.
Klein from the shotgun Going to give it to Bagley, and for the second touchdown of the night, Ryan Bagley punches it in. And with 1:20 left here in the first quarter, 19-0, Los Alamitos, as Bagley lowers his head, takes the defender in with him as he's running another over, and Gamarnik will get his third opportunity to punch one through.
Griffin's not going for two, not trying to make up for the one that they missed. They'll just take their one extra point right here.
And that is up and good. So Los Alamitos with 1:20, 20-0. And you almost get the feeling that this game is out of reach for Millikan. They've struggled to even put together a combination of first downs. They will get the ball back again, but I think if you're Millikan, it'd be nice if you could get across midfield, something that they have not done tonight. Penalties have been a problem. We've seen the turnover already.
Well, this is whatever can go wrong so far for the Millikan Rams has gone wrong. This is a disastrous way to start the football game. And of course, you could say at 20-0, they're certainly not out of it, but they've got to get a drive going. They've got to move the football downfield and hopefully get a score. By the way, Ryan Bagley, 7 carries already, 63 yards. That's a 9-yard average. Jeff Klein, 4 for 6 in the air for 50 yards and made it look easy so far. Let's see if Gamarnik here on this kickoff can get one in the end zone.
Jaquan Elster back.
Oh, wow.
And way back.
That was a field goal. He made it. Wow.
So, no question about that. The ball will come out to the 20-yard line, as you see the 50-yard line in the crowd.
Well, the crowd pretty blasé at this point. No reason to do any wild cheering. This is just workmanlike for the Griffins. Offensively, 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. Defensively, they've given up, I think, just 1 first down.
Well, with the 1:20 here in the first quarter, Reggie Foster brings them to the line. He's going to go to the air. They've almost got to. He's got a man open, and that is complete. Complete to number 2, Martin Tate. So for a team that only puts the ball in the air an average of 2 times, or I should say completes 2 balls a game, a nice first down there and near midfield.
Now watch this throw. It's not exactly a bullet pass, but actually pretty good touch. That ball took all day to get there, but it was complete, and they're out to the 45-yard line and got their second first down of the game, and that's got to make Coach Diego feel a whole lot better.
Well, and for Los Alamitos, you've got all but 1 5 yards off the ball, so maybe the passing game could be an option as Miller pitches it out and barely across for the first down. We'll see where they mark it. Is Cerna.
Great faking on the line of scrimmage by the Rams there. It was really hard even for me to tell who had the ball, and he did get the first down to the Griffin 45. So just like that, 2 first downs in a row. They're into Griffin territory, and Daniels brings in the next play for the offense. Daniels is a wide receiver when he plays offense, and he's bringing in that last play. Millikan on a drive.
Under 30 seconds here in the first quarter. That's to Tate. And a little bit more pop in the step of the Rams. Nice little pickup there. That'll bring up second down.
Watch this tackle by Rashid Prescott. It's a good game, but watch this tackle right there. Oh, my. Terrific tackle by Prescott. Really knocked him down.
Well, Prescott had been out with that deep thigh bruise against St. John Bosco.
And it didn't get any better after that play. Boy.
Well, and we've been told that we will only see Rashid Prescott as we see the end of the quarter in on defense. And so after the first quarter, Los Alamitos on top, 20-0. Millikan, though, experiencing their best drive of the night. Millikan on the season in the Moore League, finished in 3rd place with a 6-4 record for Coach Diego, his 2nd year. 7 years as an assistant at Lakewood. Let's take a look at the CIF top 10 Long Beach Poly, Los Alamitos, seeded number 1 and 2, but you see Esperanza out of the Sunset League, Bosco out of the Sarah League, Mater Dei, Servite, Sarah League, Lakewood Moore League, Santa Margarita. Lots of tough competition there, and I'll tell you what, things are going to heat up next week.
And 5 Sarah League teams in the top 10. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Los Alamitos, Esperanza.
Foster going back to the air.
Oh.
That is incomplete. Good coverage by Prescott. That is intended for Michael Cerna, 5'8", 180-pound senior.
Cerna really popped there. That had to hurt. I was about to say that in addition to Los Al and Long Beach Poly, watch for Esperanza in these playoffs. With Rick Taloa as their quarterback, they are a very fine football team.
Well, and you hear some folks talking that Poly has quite a few challenges ahead of them. Some folks talking about Esperanza giving them a very good game. They play Edison here. Long Beach Poly does tomorrow night. In fact, a lot of Poly players and coaches in the stands tonight. You see the green and gold meandering through the stands.
There are a whole lot of them out here, and for very good reason. I think they are they're easily going to beat Edison. I don't have any question about that. And then beyond that, they're pointing to Los Alamitos. That's the team that they think they're going to be facing.
Well, that'll bring up a 4th down and 1, and really, if you're the Rams, you have no other choice but to go for it.
Well, they've got good field position at the 35-yard line of Los Al. This is a good play to go for it.
Reggie Foster steps in, and they gives it to Ramos, and that line just kind of surged behind Ramos.
Good job by the offensive line of Millikan. They've done it all year long. That's the basis for their 6 wins. Good push up on the line of scrimmage. That was an easy first down.
Anthony Ray at 265 pounds. Satterley at 230. Lopez, the center, at 210. Perez at 260. And Braithwaite at 250. So not a bad-sized line. As Foster checks in, gives it to the first man through, and that'll be Ramos again.
One of the advantages of being a running team when you play against the Los Alamitos Griffins is if you're reasonably successful, you keep the clock running and you keep the Griffin offense off of the football field. So running attacks can be effective against Los Al. If for no other reason, it keeps the offense off the field.
So in the backfield is Ramos, single set back. Foster's going to keep this one. No doubt about it. He was not going to anyone. See a flag fly in there late. Cherie in on the tackle. Let's await the call.
Millikan Rams starting to move back a little bit, so they think it's against them, and it is a hold.
One of the things we're going to see is the energy level of the Rams starts to wear, is we'll probably see more holding. And when we say that, I mean we are very early here in the second quarter, but already a very physical game.
And too many players going both ways, offensively and defensively, for the Rams. They got their best athletes there, but those athletes do get tired. Again, the crowd very quiet for Los Alamitos, feeling pretty comfortable with the score at 20-0. And you see any Poly players in there, Fritz?
Yep, all that top row. I saw them as we walked up. They're sitting right under the signs. And you can bet that they've read that article, Steve Fryer, as Tate gets around the corner and then just hammered as he tried to make the turn. Estes in on the stop, Prescott. But if you're Long Beach Poly and you read the Fryer article that said that Los Alamitos and Poly would be in the final and that Los Al would win, that's got to give them some added inspiration.
No question about that. Nice misdirection on that play. Reverses his field, and oh my goodness, is he hammered by the Griffins. Again, Prescott making a very hard tackle.
Well, Prescott's been out for a few weeks, and I'm sure he's got a lot of energy to come out and hit someone. We saw Estes with that same kind of play after sitting out 2 weeks ago. That is complete. complete to number 12, Matt Chambers.
Chambers is the tight end, came off the line, went into the left flat, and he ran out of bounds just slightly too early. It's going to be very close. They're going to have to measure. He turned to go upfield, but he'd already stepped out of bounds.
Well, the second completion of the night, and we're going to get a measurement here, but they're already at their season average, and I'll bet they are going to have to push things tonight. They will have to gamble and go to the air, or this thing's going to be over very early.
All right, let's check the first down. We're going to have a real good look at this one. You can call it at home. We don't need to call it. He's short by just about 6 or 8 inches, and watch him step out right there. Notice he starts to turn to go downfield, but he's already out of bounds. He didn't quite know where he was, and as a result, if he'd actually turned the other way, Fritz, after he caught the ball, he'd have had the first down. Instead, he went straight out of bounds. Now they're going to have to pick up that half yard on 4th down. They did it easily last time on 4th. They had a good push.
Well, Jason Ramos, the 240-pound junior, likely to get the ball. Tough to bring down. 9:02 left in the first half. 4th and 1 in the brain trust there of the Rams. Looking to keep their best drive alive here in the first half. Ramos in the backfield. They're going to give it to him, but Los Alamitos.
He did not make it. Fritz, he did not make it because they needed to cross to the 24. They didn't even make the 25.
Well, I'll tell you what, we saw how powerful Ramos was last time, and Los Alamitos keyed on him. Everybody came up. Cherie was in there to meet Ramos. So on a short yardage play, Los Alamitos snuffs out the big boy and turns the ball over on downs. Los Alamitos will take over. 1st and 10, ball on the 25-yard line. They're going to fake it. They're going to go around the corner. We have a flag on the play. And out of bounds on the far side is Mandis. Let's see what the flag is. That was thrown right into the line, likely holding. Let's await the call.
To hold against Los Alamitos. That's the first penalty of the game against the Griffins with 8:48 left before halftime. We've had 5 penalties in the game against the Rams. So first mistake by the Griffins drives them back inside their own 20-yard line. The worst field position of the game now for the Griffins.
Well, and if you're Los Al, you look at that as just a challenge. Challenge to dig yourself out. Los Alamitos has scored on every possession so far tonight. And when you have the hot arm of Mr. Klein, 1st and 18 is not that big a deal. Let's see what they come out with. Wideouts are split 2 and 2. They're going to give it to Bagley on the ground. Bagley bounces out, has some running room, spins off of players, gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Good 8-yard gain by Ryan Bagley. And you called it, Fritz. Bagley does a lot of getting away. There he is. A great young runner who spins. He loves the spin move, and he is very difficult to bring down when he spins, and he had to spin twice on that last run. Made 8. Griffins now in second, actually made 9. They're in 2nd and 9.
139 carries, 908 yards for Bagley so far in the season. Klein going to the air. Screen pass to Childs, and Childs breaking tackles.
Little slip screen by Los Alamitos, and I think it got them the first down. They love that play, Jeremy Childs.
Well, and Ramos getting up slowly. They need him on the offense. The battering ram, the number 44, is going to come off.
He plays on the defensive line, and he is out. That is not good news for the Rams, but he looks like he ought to be back pretty quick.
7:52 in the first half. They're going to do a straight up the gut handoff. And into the pile is Bagley.
And as soon as Ramos went out, the Griffins try a play right up the gut, figuring now that they can handle that defensive line.
Los Alamitos recovering from so many injuries suffered. 7:21, first half. Klein back to the air. That'll be enough for the first down as Childs gets across the marker and then some, just short of the 50-yard line for Childs.
Well, Fritz, you said that first and 18 for the Griffins back on inside their own 20 was a mere inconvenience, and so far you're being proved right as the Griffins take the ball all the way out to midfield.
Now we are nearing 7 minutes. Los Alamitos finds Tripp in motion. Klein going to go with the screen near side. Tripp with the straight arm, put the ball away. We have a penalty on the play thrown in the direction, although Millikan players are clapping. So let's see if that maybe was the block applied before Tripp turned the corner.
Might be against Mandis, in fact, out there in the right flat, and it is going to be a hold against the Griffins. See if we see this penalty. There's the catch by Tripp. And no, I don't think it was Mandis. But in any event, it's called back. That's the second penalty now in a row against the Griffins, the second of this fourth possession, 2 10-yarders. So the Griffins back again inside the 50-yard line, first and about 13.
Klein jogs in.
That was a spot foul, so it was a penalty of 10 yards from the end of the play.
Tripp's far side. Mandis, the lone receiver on the near side. Bagley, the lone setback. Big time rush by Millikan, probably their best of the game, and nice coverage there. Ball is complete to Childs, and closing in was Edwards. So Childs, a very dangerous receiver after the catch, covered very well by number 4, Roderick Edwards.
And a big rush on Jeff Klein to put him under pressure. That was the best defensive play of the game by the Rams. Puts the Griffins in second and 13. You know what they haven't done yet, Fritz? Griffins have not thrown the ball long. They've not gone down the field deep. Let's see if we see that anytime soon.
Well, you're always looking for the classic fake, and Tripp goes out and plays quarterback. Plenty of time. Oh, and hammered Kirkendall. That is incomplete, but Kirkendall lays a big-time hit on Klein.
Elster darn near intercepted that ball. You know what? I was right. They were going to go deep here. There's the play action. He wants to go deep, and nobody is open. Now he's scrambling. Throws are not, he didn't think about that very much, although that was an open receiver there, almost intercepted there by number 10, Elster.
Mandis, the intended receiver. So Los Alamitos facing third down and long.
Well, that was a dangerous pass by Jeff Klein. He lobbed it into some traffic, but turned out to be very accurate, just over Mandis' head.
4 interceptions on the year for Klein. Under 6 minutes, Klein's going back to the air. Still cannot find anyone. Thank goodness he's got plenty of time. He's going to run it himself. Gets back in between the markers, but downfield coverage by the Rams, very respectable. And there's Ramos down again. He is struggling with the physical nature of this game. We've seen him down and out a couple of times on defense tonight.
And, of course, this play gives the Griffins time to think about whether they want to go for it on fourth down. Here's Klein now. He found no one. Goes down the left side, and Ramos goes after him. Ramos falls hard, and then, oh, there it is. His own number 14, Cerna, jumps over him. Ramos got hurt. He has to leave the football game. That gave the Griffins time to think about what they want to do on fourth down at the 44, and it looks like they're going for it. Klein's in the game. No, they're back to punt. Sorry about that. Dolis comes out very late. Looks like the Griffins are going to punt, but look at Klein there. You never know with Los Alamitos.
Tate back for the Rams. And that will be fielded by Tate on the 13-yard line. So not a bad defensive stand. And if you're the Rams, you got to pat yourself on the back. Great coverage, at least pass coverage. And they are starting to tighten up. So with 20-0 on the board, the Rams still out here playing hard.
And you really said it right there, and that is that the pass defense of the Millikan Rams has been excellent during the course of this last drive. Time and again, Jeff Klein could not find anyone open and was forced to scramble or throw the ball away.
Miller, Edwards, Brown, the corners and safeties, so they up to the challenge with 5:09 left here in the first half. Reggie Foster going to get another opportunity. Let's see if he can pick up on the momentum of that nice defensive stand. Going to go far side with the handoff.
By the way, Ramos is not in the football game, Fritz. He's, you can tell by the fact that you don't see any big 240-pounders. I'm watching him on the sideline. He's got his helmet off, but he looks like he's going to be okay. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back in the football game.
Well, they need him badly, as you see Coach Diaz. Diego, Kirk Diego, second year, 7 years as an assistant at Lakewood. Last year a 3-7 record, this year 6-4, so he is doing some great things here at Millikan. Man in motion is Cerna. Foster finding some running room. This is what Los Alamitos was concerned about. He is very dangerous and a hard young man to bring down, and he showed his talent there. They get enough for the first down.
He got around Dan Dykes there, and you'll watch his move around Dykes here on the replay. Good faking. He's going to run the ball, no question about that. Now watch this break to the outside, and watch him get around Dykes right there. Makes a good gain until finally Estes able to bring him down. But a first down out at the 30-yard line.
Reggie Foster being looked at by Colorado. 682 yards on the ground, 323 yards in the air, and he is the heart and soul and leader of this Ram team. Going to keep things on the ground. That handed off to number 13.
That was the quarterback, Radcliffe, who came into the game.
So the Rams mixing things up a bit. Let's see if Foster is okay.
I see Foster on the sideline talking to his coach, but he is not in a quarterback. Rather, the junior, Clint Radcliffe, is in, number 13. And now the clock is stopped.
Now Radcliffe has not completed a pass this year, 11 attempts. So you would certainly say that he is not your preferred quarterback. The question is, what's wrong with Foster?
And I'll tell you, Foster just standing there on the sideline next to Coach Diego, so he looks fine.
So Radcliffe going to give it to Tate. Tate with a big hole getting outside. He can be dangerous. Estes with his speed closing in, and now we may have a late hit on the Griffins.
We
Let's
will.
see.
We will. He was hit out of bounds. You're going to get 15 yards more tacked on. This is an excellent run here by Tate. Oh, breaks the tackle there, goes a great job, good speed, gets to the outside. There's Estes knocking him out. Now watch what happens right there, number 21, Antoine Cason commits the personal foul. That's going to cost the Griffins 15. And you know what, Fritz? The first 5 penalties of the game against the Rams, the next 3 against the Los Alamitos Griffins.
I don't know about that. Cason definitely slowed up there, but nevertheless, the Rams needing a break, getting it here late in the second quarter. Now we have Foster back in. Foster going to keep it, goes with the pitch, and taken down quickly before turning the corner. Keith Lewis, so some new guys checking in, some fresh legs possibly.
And Estes, a terrific tackle there on number 31, Keith Lewis. Terrific tackle, and as a result, he held that play to only a 2-yard gain.
Well, that'll bring up a second down and 8, the best drive of the night for the Rams. and they need to capitalize. It would be great if they could get some points on the board before halftime.
Daniels and Tate come in. They're using a lot more athletes out there now, and that's very wise. They were getting pretty tired. And Ramos is back in the game now in the tailback position. That's good to see that he's okay.
Foster. He's going to keep it himself. Gets out to the 5-yard line. So nice pickup by the junior QB. And you can see why he's getting so much Division I interest.
And this is exactly what Millikan needs to happen. We are late in the first half with 2:32 to go. They've got to drive all the way from around their 15-yard line all the way down to the Griffin 6. They've held onto the ball. Total domination of ball control. And if they can get a score right here, they might go in down only 20-7 and back in the football game. A huge morale booster on the brink here for the Millikan Rams.
Ramos, the fullback. Foster, he's going to keep it, lunges forward, may have picked up 2, actually ran into Ramos. Of course, that's the style of play they run. Now we are under 2 minutes, so time becoming a bit of a concern.
Oh, I don't think they have to worry here, Fritz. They're inside the 5, 2nd down and goal. It's just a matter of 3 more plays, and at 1:45, they've got plenty of time to get those plays in, and they've got at least 2, maybe all 3 of their timeouts left.
Yep, all 3 timeouts remain for both teams. 2nd down and 3.
Oh, Estes again. Big tackle. Estes and Prescott have really been hitting out there for the Griffins.
Well, in Los Alamitos, apparently taking one of their 3 timeouts, Barry Shear wants to talk with the defense, and that will give the Rams an opportunity to talk things over. 1:26. Ball sits on the 1.5-yard line, call it 2. Let's take a look at the rushing stats around Division I. There you have it, Lakewood Leggett, 1,733 yards. Wow.
And Patrick Harrigan, everyone thought he would run away with the rushing title, but he got hurt, and he also was not running very well at the end of the year either. He's now 2nd at 1,653, and of course his season is all over.
Yeah, well, Loyola's renowned. He's up there at 13, almost 1,400 yards.
And A.B. Miller have a couple of athletes up there, and they add that up together, and that's over 2,300 yards. And finally, Bosco's Williams also there.
Well, Los Alamitos wanting to keep the Rams off the board before halftime. Call the timeout. Let's see what comes of it. Foster,
he's in.
Follows his line. Touchdown, Rams. They climb back into this one. That'll bring up 20-6. Awaiting for the extra point.
And boy, that is a huge touchdown for the Millikan Rams. Great for their morale. They took about 7 minutes, I think, off the clock there, Fritz.
Well, and they started this drive deep in their own territory. And remember, all of this came off of that great defensive stand. So the momentum did carry over. Awaiting the extra point. That is up. And it is good.
Clement.
So Foster, 12 carries for 65 yards. There you see it. Millikan 7, Los Alamitos 20. Nobody go away yet. Millikan says we're not through here. We may have squeaked into the playoffs, but we're not ready to go home and pack it in yet.
I think you've got to call that a gut check time by Millikan. Down 20 zip. Have done nothing right all game long, get to their 5th possession of the game. Suddenly, after a great hold by their defense, they get the ball, move about 90 all the way downfield, eat up the clock, get the score. Great for their morale. Now the key, the last minute and 23,
yep.
They got to hold Los Alamitos.
Well, and we know Los Alamitos can be so dangerous, and look who's checking in to take the kickoff. Number 24, Randy Estes, and he returned one last week. In fact, that's what broke the back of Edison last week. Randy Estes comes in takes that kickoff in the early part of the third quarter and runs it back for a touchdown. Estes actually came up and wanted this. Childs is going to do what he can with it, trying to fight forward. Gets out to the 28-yard line, so Estes coming up to field that one on the fly, but the ball's taken out of the air by Childs.
And, you know, you got one guy going back, another guy coming up, almost like a baseball play. It's the guy in the back who's got the momentum. He's the one you want to get the ball. It didn't work that way. Childs got it, but his momentum was backwards, not able to get on track. Griffins, not very good field position.
Los Alamitos with 2 timeouts remaining in 1:15, and they probably have plans of getting on the board as Bagley lops off a nice chunk of yardage getting out to the 40-yard line. Los Alamitos would love to put another score on the board. And we have down number 70 for Los Alamitos. Roland's getting up slowly. That offensive line for the Griffins has had injury troubles all year long. The good news is that they are very deep. And this is the last thing, left ankle for Rollins. Espinoza comes out. Actually, Espinoza is going to have to stay in, so not looking good. We had commented on how good the injuries did look this year, and he can't put any weight on this. They're going to pick him up. Wow, that's not a good sign.
Not at all. Let's hope that they can tape that up, take care of it, give him a little therapy, and get him in there next week.
Well, I'll tell you something. Picking up 270 pounds and carting him off the field, that'll create more injuries. 107, Klein going to the air. Childs actually runs into his blocker. And again, very impressive. Second series in the row as Childs is taken down at the defense of the Rams.
Griffin's very conservative on those first 2 plays. A running play, then the slip screen. They're not going downfield with the football.
2 timeouts remain. They've got the time to do it. That's across the Tripp. Tripp spinning, gets to the 41-yard line. That'll move the chains. 36 ticks on the clock.
Let's see if Klein throws it into the ground or whether they use a timeout. If he's not calling a timeout, there's no reason to waste it down here. And what he ought to do is go downfield with the ball.
Now the clock begins to run. Klein, they're going to give it to Bagley.
Now a timeout, Fritz. They got to call a timeout right now. Right now. There it is.
That leaves 25 seconds remain on the clock.
Griffin's at the 36-yard line of Millikan, and they're going to have a second down and about 6 yards to go. 25 seconds left, 1 timeout left. Griffins have got to go downfield here, get the first down, stop the clock, maybe even take a shot at the end zone or 2, and then finally, if it doesn't work, go with Gamarnik on a field goal, but they're way too far out for that right now. They need more yardage.
Well, and his long on the year is 40. He is a perfect 6 for 6. And there you see it, second down and 5. Los Alamitos desperately wanting to answer the Rams score. Los Alamitos will get the ball in the second half, so they've got that going for them. We are in round 1. Fritz Pollard, Len Venger, John Bowles downstairs. And Klein from the gun. He's going for Tripp. That is complete and wisely out of bounds. Only 5 seconds comes off the clock, so clock management going the favor of the Griffins.
But still only a 5-yard gain there, although the Griffins do get the first down, or maybe a 7-yard gain. They're at the 27, still too far for a reasonable field goal attempt. It would be right now about a 45-yarder, a little too much. They need some more yardage.
They're going to the air, across the middle. Mandis slides.
Now they're in business, Fritz. That's a first down. 13 seconds left. Now he might put the ball in the ground to stop the clock. Watch him.
Yeah, Coach Barnes signaled it. Throw it in the dirt.
Not yet. Now the referee starts the clock, and there's the ball into the ground to stop the clock. Good coaching, good execution. 11 seconds left. The Griffins at the 10-yard line. One timeout still left, Fritz. Question is, what do you do? I think they take at least one shot in the end zone, maybe two, then go for the field goal late.
Well, and if you've watched and ever been at one of the practices, the very last series that they practice, and the sidelines is counting down from 10, is a hurry-up field goal. We'll see if they need it. Klein going to the corner. Jump ball.
He's got it.
Childs with the touchdown.
Whoa, 10 yards, touchdown. A fade into the end zone. Childs out-jumps him. Like a basketball play here, Fritz. Here we go. Here's the fade into the end zone on the right side. Childs is there. Watch him just jump higher. It's that simple. Wow, Jeremy Childs over number 4, Edwards. And is he taller than Edwards? How tall is Edwards?
5'11" versus 6 foot.
That inch did it.
It's an inch, and a well-thrown ball, a great route by Childs. He literally shielded Edwards from the ball and had the position on the jump. Klein, 11 of 14 for 111 yards. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still in the first half. Bagley with almost 100 yards, 11 carries, 93 on the night. So lots of offense. That was a gut check for Los Alamitos, and I'll tell you something, Len, that is great coaching clock management, which you may need tonight, week 2, 3, and 4. That's the kind of play that's going to keep you moving on.
No question about it. Great discipline by the Los Alamitos offense. Great time management, and I'll tell you, that just broke the heart of the Millikan Rams. They got back in the football game with only 1:23 left, and the Griffins got the ball. Not great field position at their own 25. They went the whole 75 yards using 1:19 of that 1:23. Got the score, and Millikan's going to go back into the locker room down 20 yet again.
Well, and not much you're going to be able to do as long as Los Al can make the stop. Not much that's going to happen. Back is Jaquan Elster. This is going to be fielded by the up man, and should say misfielded by the up man.
And that's it. That took the whole 4.
So, as we wind down here, first half of play is in the books. Los Alamitos 27, the Millikan Rams 7. And Lynn, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, basically, I'm very impressed by the Los Alamitos offense. They moved the ball. They showed discipline. I think they did not score on perhaps only one of their drives. You got to hand it to Millikan, though. They hung in there, down 20. They're clearly outmanned here. Griffins just want to put this thing away in the second half and start getting some second stringers in.
Well, we're going to try and get you Coach Barnes as he comes off the field, headed towards the tunnel. Downstairs, John Bowles.
All right, guys, down here on the field, Coach Barnes, lead at halftime. Saw a little bit of everything, running the ball, throwing the ball, even a little 2-minute offense there at the end for the last score. Talk about the first half.
Well, the 2-minute drive was as good as it gets in high school. We made a lot of plays there, and it was a good thing. We kind of went a little dead in that second quarter, and we kind of came back. And, you know, they're good, and they're putting a lot of pressure on our defense. They have a great scheme and on offense and making it tough on us. But, you know, we got back there on that last drive and kind of got a little breathing room. So hopefully we can play well in the second half.
All right, good luck second half, Coach. All right, guys, back to you upstairs. And just to answer some questions, yes, Griffins win tonight. They'll be on the road either way at Bishop Beaumont or at Redlands at the University of Redlands next Friday.
Well, fill up the gas tank. The Griffin fans are going to be driving. It's just a matter of how far. Thank you, Coach Barnes. Thank you, John Bowles. Let's take a look at that final touchdown pass, Lynn Venger.
Klein's got it. He looks left, looks right, then goes left, fade pattern, and Jeremy Childs just simply gets up over the defender, holds on to the football, and boy, that one broke the hearts of the Millikan Rams. And as a result, they're down 20, and as Coach Barnes said, he's got some breathing room, and that's what he wants. And Redlands next week, did you say? You just keep going to Palm Springs after that game.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Palm Springs in Division I? It's pretty hot this time of year. We're having one of these little Santa Ana wind heat waves going. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to step aside for halftime. Don't go away. The score, 27 7. Los Alamitos on top of Millikan. We've got a full second half coming up from the vet.
This edition of the CIF Division I football playoff game is the sole property of the CIF Southern Section and cannot be reproduced or retransmitted without the express written consent of the CIF Southern Section. The CIF Division I football playoff games are proudly sponsored by Toyota and your Southern California Toyota dealers. CIF and Toyota supporting tomorrow's stars today. LATV3's coverage is brought to you locally by the family and friends of the Los Alamitos Griffin Football Booster Club.
There are a few things you need to do to make your home safe for you and your family, like setting your water heater at 120 degrees Fahrenheit to prevent burns, and installing smoke alarms outside of bedrooms. If your home was built before 1978, have it tested for lead-based paint. Did I mention proper wiring?
For a free brochure on HUD's Healthy Homes and to learn how an FHA loan can help you buy a home, just call.
HUD and FHA are on your side.
It isn't an order or a command. Protocol doesn't require it. The oath of enlistment doesn't refer to it. So why do sailors devote so much time to helping Americans in need? To instituting programs on their behalf? Because when you're in the Navy, you go wherever the battle is.
Welcome back to the vet. Fritz Pollard, Len Venger, John Bowles. Week 1 of Division I playoff football. The score 27-7. Los Alamitos on top at the break. And we are just moments away from the kickoff. So many things go into a broadcast every year, and we would really like to thank some of those folks. However, I will have to abstain from mentioning who has made a lot of this year possible, so I will not mention McKenna VW. And we appreciate all the help. And their fine locations all over Norwalk,
Pomona,
and good old Huntington Beach. Freeway close. McKenna VW making this year possible for us to broadcast the Sunset League. And we are just seconds away. Back deep for Los Alamitos. Remember, Los Alamitos won the toss. We've got Childs and Estes. And the third quarter is underway. And nice kick by the Rams. So that will eliminate the return. Estes fields the ball.
So we've got a touchback high school football. Once the ball crosses the end zone, it is an automatic touchback. Ball goes to the 20-yard line. Millikan down 20, and the Griffins, of course, deferred at the beginning of the game. As a result, they got the ball. So Millikan down 20 and without the ball here as the third quarter begins.
Well, and the second quarter ended with that wonderful drive, the nice fade pass. So the Griffins, going into the locker room on a high note, has an opportunity to come back out and put this game away. Handoff right up the middle and taken down by a whole host of Ram players.
That's Ryan Bagley down at the bottom of that pile.
Somewhere.
Somewhere. Finally gets up. That play made about 2.5 yards, and I'm glad to see that Bagley wasn't underground there.
139 carries, 908 yards, 6.5 yard average, 11 touchdowns before tonight. Ryan Bagley adding a very balanced aspect to this very potent Griffin offense. His trip gets enough for the first down across the 30-yard line.
And just like that, the Griffins, 2 plays, already have a first down and out over the 30-yard line. And, you know, Bagley started slowly this year, Fritz. The first 2 or 3 games, he didn't do a whole lot. And all of a sudden, he just exploded in about the last 6 or 7 games of the season.
Good point, and he has been getting better each week. The way he is breaking tackles, and Ron Cluey talks about his lower body strength, and we're seeing it there. puts the ball on the ground. That's Woods. So Brian Woods checks into the game.
And you know what? He did not get the ball. Woods did
Wow.
not get the ball. He had all day back there. Wow, Brian Woods had all day back there to get his hands on the ball. He just couldn't get control of it. And, wow, the Millikan Rams take over at the 15-yard line of Los Alamitos. A huge turnover.
Well, and you hear every coach talk about it. Turnovers are the difference in games. And for the Rams, they have needed a break tonight. And they may have just gotten it early here in the third quarter. And Foster will bring the Rams to the line. Foster's going to keep it, trying to get outside around the corner. Then he puts it on the ground.
But they held
Los
it.
Alamitos signaling that they've got it. It looked like a Ram may have jumped on it. Let's see
No.
what the officials call.
I think it's going to be Millikan ball. I think it's going to be Millikan ball. Second down. All right. Foster there under center here. It's going to be the option. There's the fake. Now comes the option. Here comes the pitch, and not a very good pitch. Looked like it almost may have gone forward, and a good job there. Oh, ball loose again. Wow. You know what? I thought Los Al recovered that.
Well, Cerna was the pitch man receiving the pitch. Foster's going to roll out now to the other side, closing quickly. Foster stays on his feet, gets around the corner, and turns something out of nothing. Barely got around the corner there, eluding some of the secondary of the Griffins shooting in.
Reggie Foster, really a terrific job. I thought he was going to be
Excellent.
dropped for about a 5 or 8 yard loss, and instead he got positive yardage, and he is back now to the original line of scrimmage at the 16-yard line.
Well, and this is a critical opportunity for the Rams. They do not want to walk away without putting points on the board. Down by 20. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. Ball sits on the 16-yard line. Big down here early in the third quarter for Foster. Ramos in the backfield. Cerna man in motion. They're going to give it to Tate. Tate gets out to the, now they're saying Los Alamitos signaling another fumble.
And Los Al's got it. It was. Wow. A crushing blow to Millikan to lose the football. Let's see if we see the fumble. Ball is to Tate. Now there it is. Ball loose. Now we see it. Los Al pounces on it. Can't quite tell who it is. Boy, oh boy, look at that. Look at that mass of humanity in there. Griffins come up with it, though. A crushing blow to the Millikan Rams. They give it right back.
9:54 in the third. Los Alamitos dodges a bullet. Klein with Bagley in the backfield. They're going to go to the air. That's Tripp on the screen. Tripp's got some blocking. Mandis doing a great job downfield.
Mandis held that block, I can't tell you for how long, and Tripp able to get through and get out nearly to the 25-yard line, and a first down for Los Alamitos. Great job of blocking by Mandis.
Well, both teams coming out of the break a little bit flat. Los Alamitos, Brian Woods puts it on the ground. Then it turned over by Tate.
Well, in 2 minutes we had 2 turnovers, Fritz. I'd say they came out flat all right.
Tripp tonight, 6 catches, 70 yards. Senior leading the way with great play right up the middle there on the ground for the Griffins.
Out over the 30-yard line, and that's where we thought the Griffins were a little while ago at the beginning of the second half when they'd gotten the ball out over the 30. Ryan Bagley doing some great running. Mandis, as you saw there, been doing some great blocking tonight.
Ryan Bagley also fair on his receptions, 7 on the season, 75 yards when he takes the pass, almost 11 yards when he receives it in the air. Tonight on the ground, 13 carries, and he breaks the 100-yard mark with 102 on the evening.
And therefore breaks the 1,000-yard mark for the year for Ryan Bagley on that run.
Well, and for an offense that passes a lot, that's not bad. So Klein skips this one in. In fact, it looked as though Klein and Tripp were out of sync on that one. They're both coaching each other, the brain trusts of the Rams. We've seen flashes of brilliance tonight, but just not sustained. Coach Barnes not happy with the miscue on that last play. And you know, Lynn, if you're coaching in the 11th week of this season, you're expecting penalties to be at a minimum and miscues to be at a minimum, and we're starting to see a weird third quarter developing as Bagley, with a huge gain, one man to beat, taken down from behind, and Ryan Bagley, before you know it, turned that one into something beautiful.
Boy, I'll tell you though, there was a hole there. Hope we have a chance to possibly see that one on replay. You will not believe the hole that Ryan Bagley's got here. Here's the handoff to Bagley. Look at that hole. Right through it. Good speed. Good break there. Now it's a foot race, and finally, number 66, Christensen, brings him down, but not until he gets inside the 30-yard line of the Rams.
Well, and Christensen at 225 yards did a great job pulling Bagley down. Keep that on the ground. That's Estes. And Estes heading for the end zone.
He's in.
And he is in.
27 yards.
So the speed of Estes throwing the Rams off, he checks in for one play, and we've been seeing him do that all year long.
Straight handoff. Oh, a good break out there to the right. Watch how he switches the ball into his right hand right there. That makes sure he doesn't fumble. Gets into the end zone. 27 yards, almost untouched. Touchdown, Los Alamitos.
Randy Estes, something special here for Los Alamitos. 8:20. We await the point attempt. That is good. So we sit at 34-7, Los Alamitos on top, and the Griffin fans feeling more comfortable.
Well, Fritz, that was the killer for Millikan. The second half started with Los Alamitos getting the ball. The Griffins committed a fumble deep in their own territory. Millikan got the ball, and then Millikan turns around, fumbles, gives it back to Los Alamitos. 3 or 4 or 5 plays later, Griffins march downfield, get the score, and basically have just put this football game away. What a turn of events. 3 turnovers in the game, Millikan committing 2 of them, both hurt badly.
Well, and just to give you the statistics, on the season, turnovers, 29 fumbles before tonight's game, 17 of them lost, 5 interceptions. Penalties on the season, 37. So coming into tonight's game, that's averaging about 4 a game. Yet they have committed at least that as that ball sails way into the end zone. That taken by Elster.
Boy, I'll tell you, Gamarnik has quite a leg. 150-pound senior, what a leg.
Well, we talked last week about that CIF record for extra points. Jeff Kalasa, named from the past, and Gamarnik is closing in on that record. Now, if Los Alamitos can go deep into the playoffs the way they put points on the board, that record may be in jeopardy. It would be neat to see. Well, now we have Radcliffe checking in. Radcliffe, oh my goodness.
Oh, it's a fumble. Griffins have it. Dobie, touchdown. Oh my goodness.
Boy, you look away and you may miss something.
I'll tell you, if you put your head down, wow.
Well, and Lynn, I am questioning what Radcliffe is doing in this game. Foster has done well all night long. They put him in last.
Watch this hit, though. Watch the hit on Radcliffe. He's popped right there, and the ball's gone already. Estes. Boy, what a player Estes is. Holy cow.
Well, and we were just talking about that record, so Gamarnik, in a matter of seconds, puts another one through for the extra point. This lead widening, and with 8:10 left in the third quarter, Los Alamitos on top 41-7. and you can turn out the lights on Millikan's season. The rest is just a formality.
Third turnover, the final blow, I think, to Millikan's season. They're not going to come back down 41-7. And wow, am I impressed with Randy Estes. He has been hitting all night. Rasheed Prescott on defense has been hitting all night. These guys are just pounding Millikan. I mean, those, I got to tell you, Fritz, those are Saturday-type tackles. I mean, college quality tackling.
Well, I was out at practice yesterday, and Coach Barnes' final words to the team, he said, when you see that ball, punch it out. When you make a tackle, punch that ball out. We need turnovers. It's the key to the game. Anytime you see that ball, take a swipe at it and punch it out. Los Alamitos doing that here in the third quarter. That's too deep. No way that's coming out, as Elster just watches it sail into his hands, yet he's midway into the end zone.
Man, this is pure domination by the Los Alamitos Griffins in every facet of the game. Offense, defense, special teams, intensity, you just name it. Los Alamitos has it over Millikan. And Millikan was 6-4 in a very tough league.
Well, and when you talk with Coach Diego, very proud coach. He believes in his program. They were 3-7 last year, turns the program around. That was his first year. This year, 6-4. He talked about coaching these kids for life, not just in football. A great philosophy as Foster checks back in.
You know, there were 5 Los Alamitos Griffins in on that tackle, Fritz. I mean, this is just, they are just filled with intensity, and they still have that first team in there. You see Doby, you see Estes, you see Kason.
Well, David Brown with the reception there from Foster.
Los Al keeping the first team in, notwithstanding the 41-7 lead.
Tate, man in motion. Whoa! Estes, just in case you had forgotten.
Wow. Is that Ramos with the ball?
Ramos with the ball, first man through.
Yeah, but not for very long. I mean, he was just popped.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 4 for the Rams. Checking in is David Brown. And Foster's just got to go to the air. Not that they are in this to win. There's the wife of our producer and director.
Oh, she just wasn't a Los Al fan?
Well, now she could be a Los Al fan.
Well, she is.
And the wife of the producer director. I mean, it's possible. Foster to the air. That one tipped up.
And 3 and out for Millikan. The offense just coming off the field very slowly. Punting team coming on. Griffins now just in total absolute control. And I think now, frankly, Fritz, time for some substitutes to come in. You want these first stringers available, healthy next week. You don't want any injury to anybody. I think time for a change.
David Brown, the intended receiver for Millikan. Brandon Tripp stands at the 45. Mentor with big rush on. Tripp is going to field this, and he'll take that on the 46-yard line. So with 6:41 in the third quarter, Los Alamitos has another opportunity near midfield to put some more points on the board. Klein checks back in.
First team is in. We got Klein and Tripp and Childs and Bagley all out there. So the Griffins staying with their first team here in the third quarter. Maybe Coach Barnes waiting for the fourth to make the substitution.
Mandis and Trudeau on the near side. Klein one hands it. That is over the middle, and nice hit being applied by Reggie Foster on Tripp.
Foster had a shot at him, and he took it. But that's a good pass, good catch. Klein back. There's Tripp cutting into the middle, makes the catch, and boom, he is hammered by Foster, but he gets right up. Feeling good.
Well, not many times you see a receiver that weighs in at 207 pounds, and that's Brandon Tripp for you, 6'2". He is a big target and can take a big hit. They're going to give this one to Bagley. Bagley has some running room as he gets outside. One man to beat, and taken down by the shirt tails by Roderick Edwards.
He's tried to straight arm Edwards. Edwards took the arm that was being used as the straight arm, and that's how he brought Bagley down.
Well, if you want his jersey that badly, we'll get it to you at the end of the game.
All right, let's watch the straight arm coming. Good move there by Bagley, out to the right, and he gets by that tackle. Here comes the straight arm, and he uses the straight arm to bring Bagley down.
Fresh set of downs for Klein from the gun. Going to go out to trip on the screen. Blocking fell apart there and taken down at the line of scrimmage.
When you have that little pass out in the flat, and since it's behind the line of scrimmage, you might even call it a screen pass. When you do that, if you don't make yardage very quick, the pursuit is going to catch you, and that's what happened there. And the coach is still coaching out there for Millikan.
Well, if anything, in talking to Coach Diego, you know, this is preparation for next year. This is character-building game. They've been out of the playoffs for 5 years, and at some level, you know, just keep it respectable as Klein's going to hang on to it himself, gets across the 10-yard line and down to the 7. And if you are Coach Barnes, in my opinion only, every time Klein tucks it in, and Espinoza is down. Now, Rollins had gone out number 70. Coach Barnes comes out. The offensive line, the key to this very potent offense, and they have been dinged this year.
And that's the point that you and I were making a little earlier. At 41-7, let's get this first team out of there. Start bringing in subs. You don't want to take a chance on an injury. And we've got Rollins who went down. Espinoza hurt a little bit. He looked in pretty good shape, but still, you don't want to take any chances.
Well, and McDaniel went out earlier in the year. There was some expectation that he may play a little bit. And he is in as we speak as Klein going around the corner.
Little short.
Gets down to inside the 1. Snyder is in. 4:50 here in the third quarter. It's like we had some offensive linemen maybe checking in. Let's see if we can get you some of those numbers.
Hopefully the Griffins bringing in some substitutes now. First and goal at the 1.5-yard line. This is where you and I start rooting for the clock, Fritz.
Going to give it to Bagley. Bagley punches through. Touchdown, Los Alamitos. And if you didn't see substitutes prior to this series, I'd be surprised if we didn't see them on the next.
Straight handoff here. Klein, Bagley, touchdown.
Well, Ryan Bagley on the night, 16 carries, 167 yards, his third touchdown. We have flags on the extra point. For Bagley, that raises his total to 14 TDs, and very impressive. And again, you have to remember, when you look at that rushing stat, most of the teams still today are predominantly running teams. We've seen many of them even in the Sunset League. Bagley has to share time with Klein and that talented receiving core, so his numbers need an asterisk next to it. Very impressive with as many yards in the air. Klein checks into tonight's game with 1,524 yards in the air.
Wow.
And those numbers are skewed a bit because Elway played the first 4 games and he had some like 450 yards passing.
Exactly right. Very impressive offensive statistics by Los Al, and especially what you just said there, and that is because of Justin Elway playing the early game.
Well, there you see it, 48-7. Let's go downstairs to John Bowles for an injury update.
Okay, guys, we got one bad news to report from the field. Despite the Griffins winning 48-7, they lost Daniel Rollins on the next to last play of the game in the first half. He's got what is being diagnosed right now as a sprained left ankle, but they've got him in a soft cast, and he's going to the hospital for x-rays. Fortunately, those injuries earlier in the season gave the Griffins the depth they need. They may need it. They may lose Daniel Rollins. Greg Cluey's filling in at tackle right now. Back to you guys.
Well, and they do have the depth there on the offensive line. Orozco, Steinhauser, Snyder, Cluey, Rollins started the game. Now, Espinoza was going to come in. The question will be, as he hobbled off the field, is he able to come back in? And with the shuffling on the offensive line and a lot of talent this year, the Griffins have not lost a step offensively, but you can't go forever.
I think we're going to see Greg Cluey, as John said, coming in at this point on the offensive line to take the spot of Espinoza.
Jason Miller watches this one fly into the end zone. So with 4:27 left in the third quarter, Reggie Foster will bring the troops out.
This game, I think people expected Los Alamitos to win it handily. I'm not sure anybody expected that it would be 48-7 with still nearly 4.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Well, and Radcliffe checks in, so strike that. Radcliffe, who fumbled, which was returned for a touchdown, checks in. And hands off to number 10, Jaquan Elster. Jaquan, 165-pound, 5'11" junior. So a lot of juniors on this team that will be back next year for Kirk Diego.
Los Alamitos first team defense still in there, Fritz.
Well, as the clock winds down, we are under 4 minutes. Radcliffe.
Oh,
nice tackle there.
Oh, Wallace. I mean, Prescott. Rasheed Prescott. Oh, my. Oh, is he good.
Clement, Clement with the carry.
You know what? This is as talented a Griffin team. I've been doing this 19 years with Los Alamitos. I just can't remember a team so balanced offensively and defensively.
At every position. It's incredible.
This is a very, very good football team.
So Radcliffe looks at a 3rd down and 9. Radcliffe going to the air. That is complete. Ooh, and taking a big lick there is Mendoza.
But, gee, he was only hit by 3 Griffins, not 5. He ought to be happy. Griffins with just great pursuit tonight. Watch how many people hit him. I mean, it's a good throw right here, and it's a nice catch. He's got it right there. It's going to be a good game, but watch how many people hit him. Look at that pursuit. 1, 2, 3. Number 4 wasn't far behind either.
Johnson, Cason, Prescott trailing. First down. We are under 3 minutes in the third quarter. Radcliffe gives it to Ramos. And Ramos stumbles forward to the 40-yard line. Jason Ramos, 91 carries before tonight's game, 469 yards, 5-yard average, only 1 touchdown on the season. That seems incredible, but so much of the TD work done by Reggie Foster. Go ahead.
I would say Radcliffe clearly in charge here now. I think the coach is maybe thinking about next year with Radcliffe a junior.
Going to keep that on the ground right up the middle.
Of course, Reggie Foster's a junior too, so he's got a couple of awfully good players coming back next year.
Carry by Elster. They'll bring up 2nd and 6 for the Rams.
You know, you wonder if the Rams wouldn't make a decision next year maybe to go with Reggie Foster elsewhere in the backfield with Radcliffe as the quarterback.
Well, they've got a lot of talented people. It's just putting it together, and truly they are a team destined to finish even better next year. Of course, you've got Long Beach Poly in your league. That's always a tough, and there comes Estes. Oh, my goodness. He comes like he's shot out of a cannon.
What speed by Estes. He was there in no time at all.
Well, Randy Estes, the transfer from Long Beach Poly.
Watch how fast. There's Radcliffe. He's back. Looks like he's got that all of a sudden out of nowhere. Sean Estes, incredible burst of speed.
He may go by Sean, but we call him Randy around here.
Well, you know what? A little while ago I said Rasheed Wallace instead of Prescott. I got the wrong sport going here.
Well, that's okay. 122 in the third, and the Rams going to turn it over. Brandon Tripp stands on his 30-yard line. Big pursuit by Mentor. And Tripp looks like he tripped.
And gets away from the ball once that happens and lets Millikan down it.
So for Los Alamitos, the question is, do they bring out at least some of the second team and get these starters on the bench?
And I see Bagley. And here comes Jeff. No, number 7 is now in. Justin Elway coming in for Los Alamitos.
Well, and Justin Elway went out in the Carson game with a separated shoulder.
On a play that you and I didn't like to see. It was on a clip. Got hit in the back, knocked down. We thought it might have been a cheap shot, and that cost him a lot of playing time this year.
Los Alamitos obviously wanting to run time off the clock, keeps it on the ground. Mandis with the carry there. On the season, Justin Elway, 28 of 46, 61% completion ratio, 420 yards, 1 interception, 5 touchdowns, and Justin Elway and Jeff Klein sharing time for the first 4 games of the season.
See if the Bagley's still in there. Let's see if the Griffins get him out pretty quick here. They sure don't want to take a chance on losing him. They've got other backs who can come in and cover the fourth quarter.
Well, you've still got Steinhauser.
Future Millikan Ram over there waiting to get his chance in a few years.
Orozco.
That's it for the quarter.
So we wind down to the end of the third. Los Alamitos on top, 48-7 with the ball. Substitutions and just hoping to get out of here without any more injuries. Take a quick look here as we see the quarterbacks in Division I playing tomorrow night against Long Beach Poly is the very dangerous Grady. Unfortunately, his supporting cast graduated, and he has struggled this year, but boy, he's put up the big numbers. 14 TDs, 2,125 yards. And then you mentioned it earlier, Taloa, Esperanza, he's done very well.
He's a real talent. He's on a good team. They can pass, they can run, and that's a lot of yardage. And then, of course, Jeff Klein in third at 15-24. But remember, as you pointed out, Justin Elway did a lot of passing early in the year. Klein to be right up there with the other guys if he'd been playing all year. And then Kofeld, Johns, and Felix, all these guys on teams in the playoffs.
Well, Bagley rips off a big one to start off the fourth quarter. So that'll be a first down right out of the gate. And now you've got a Ram team that's just literally running on fumes.
Ryan Oken in the game, and Filer, I believe, in the game for the Griffins. They're starting to bring those substitutes in now, and they'll get some playing time. That's important. They get into playing time in the playoffs. That's good. No reason for any first-teamers to be in at this point.
Ryan Oken, 22 carries for 64 yards so far, and we have flags flying.
Looks like one of the Griffins moved on the offensive line, so there it is, illegal procedure against the Griffins. That'll cost them 5. Only the 4th penalty of the game against Los Alamitos. That's awfully good here. 4th in 4 quarters. Griffins showing a lot of good discipline, and of course you might expect some mistakes here late with second stringers coming in.
Well, that offensive line still missing Espinoza. And of course, Rollins went out. That could be a big problem. Hopefully, that twisted ankle is nothing more than that. Straight ahead, Elway hands off to Oken.
Oken, a senior, 195 pounds, 5'9". Looked a little like Ramos on that play. Just bowled his way for a few yards.
Looking at the Orange County Register this week, Steve Fryer, the high school sports columnist, giving his predictions as to how he felt the playoffs would round out. We'll get you those in between plays as Elway's going to go to the air and almost picked off.
Raymond Rendon, almost able to intercept that ball.
So that's kind of a rocky start to a injured end of the year.
He's got to be, though, just not really ready to play yet. He needs some work out there. This is perfect for Justin Elway.
You bet. Excellent, excellent point. This is time to get all these people that have been riding the bench with injuries. In fact, the good thing was when you look at the Sunset League schedule, Los Alamitos had really the toughest part of their season early in Sunset League play and allowed these guys to get healed. They're going to send him right back to the air, and nice pass right on the money.
Mandis.
That is complete to Mandis.
Wow.
And he throws a strike.
Great pass by Elway and a fingertip catch by Mandis. Very good job getting, look at that, a lot of handshakes from the rest of his teammates.
Welcome back.
Straight drop back. Look at that spiral. Nice and tight. Look at that fingertip catch by Mandis. Brings the ball in so there's no chance of fumbling, and down inside the 45-yard line of Millikan. And the Griffins look about ready to get into the 50s in this game.
Clock continues to run as Elway goes from the shotgun. He's going to fake it. Correction, hands it to Oken, and Oken fighting to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Oken only wished he'd faked it because he lost some yardage. Or maybe, he actually lost a yard or so.
So back to the column, Steve Fryer. Here is his predictions. Long Beach Poly over Edison. That game takes place tomorrow night. Servite over Edison.
Servite over?
Correction, I'm sorry, Eisenhower. Mater Dei over East Valley of Redlands. Go ahead and call this next one. That is Elway to Woods. Woods fumbled the last time he touched the ball.
Glad he got
a nice pickup there.
Glad he got the football. Glad he made a good game. He's got to be feeling better. Woods feeling a whole lot better about things after that play. And he made the first down, in fact.
Esperanza, per Steve Fryer, should have an easy go of it against Santa Margarita.
Santa Margarita's a tough team. It's going to be a tough football game.
Anyone in the Sarah League, I think, is somebody that, you could have some upsets coming out when a Sarah League team's up against you. St. John Bosco over Fountain Valley. Loyola.
By the way, Los Al beat both those teams this year.
You bet. Loyola over Lakewood. Justin Elway from the gun.
Lakewood could give Loyola a game, by the way.
Oken runs into better part of the Ram defensive front. Redlands over Bishop Amant and Los Alamitos over Millikan, and we can only call that last prediction, and so far Fryer's not doing too bad.
Well, he's going to be 1-0.
And most of those teams are playing tomorrow night. So there you have it.
In fact, they're all playing tomorrow night. I think this is the only Division I game.
Well, and we had thought early on that Long Beach Poly, and it was even referenced that due to bad turnout to their games, that they may choose to play at a smaller facility and give Los Alamitos the opportunity to play on a Friday night. During the week, they chose to play here as, nice hit there. Elway.
He's a little shaken up. Whoever made that tackle, 14, that's Cerna.
Joshua Jones with the carry.
And Cerna made a great tackle here. Let's see it. There's the pitch. And right there, Cerna.
I don't know who was on the losing end of that. I think Jones applied a pretty nice hit.
I think you're right. Cerna was definitely on the wrong end of that. He kind of made the tackle, which means he was there, and there was contact.
Los Alamitos will play the winner of Bishop Amont Redlands. Elway. Elway's going to keep it. He's going far side, and he'll run with it. And boy, I'll tell you something.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, this is a first for Justin Elway in a lot of senses, having been out with the injury, and you saw him a little tentative round in the corner.
Well, he aimed straight out of bounds. He was not about to let that shoulder get hit.
No kidding.
His shoulder was not going to get touched on that play. I don't blame him. After all the long time he's been out and he's getting this playing time, he really needs to work. It's the last thing he wants is to get hit.
Well, next week, the winner of Bishop Amont, who's 5-5, they're taking on Redlands, who finished 7-3. So Los Alamitos will hook up against one of those two. Elway back to the air. Nice little crossing pattern. That is caught.
Mandis
fights for the end zone, and they are going to mark this on the 1-foot line.
They're not giving it to him.
Holy moly.
Mandis can't believe it. Look how he's looking over at the ref.
You got to be kidding me, he's saying.
Let's see if he got him. Elway makes an awfully good throw right here. Good slam. Gets through. Goes towards the end zone, and great hammer work. You know what? The knee hit. The knee hit just before he went in. Good call by the referees.
David Brown riding Mandis down, and we have a flag on the play. That is procedure against Los Al, and again, as you are getting the substitutions in, this is very much typical of folks that have not been in.
Okay, now right, watch the knee, he's down. That ball is on about the half-yard line. Boy, the referees did a great job there.
Right on the line, great call. Mandis, 3 catches for 73 yards tonight. And again, Prescott, who normally checks in at one of the wide receivers positions, has not been in because of the injury. Oken runs right into the front 3 of the Rams and will lose some yardage on that play.
Chris Orozco there was not real happy on that play. A little disappointed. He wants another score. Griffins want to get into the 50s tonight here.
Montoya in at wide receiver. Oken in at running back. Woods in at receiver.
I think Elway's going to go to the air. Let's see.
Pfeiffer is in.
Should have gone to the air. It's going to be 3rd and goal from about the 8-yard line, maybe even the 9. Griffins take one shot at the end zone here and then may go for the field goal. Oken working hard out there.
So we are nearing 5 minutes left in this contest. 48-7. Los Alamitos able to run quite a bit of time off the clock in this drive. 3rd down and 8, actually moving backwards as Justin Elway brings in the next play.
Griffins were inside the 1 on 1st down, but a penalty and a couple of runs that went nowhere back at the 8-yard line.
Elway going to keep it himself and gets his first contact and dives over. Will they give him the touchdown? And they do.
Oh, great play by Elway as he reached out. Terrific job by Justin Elway.
And he lost a shoe.
Boy, he showed tremendous power there. He just wouldn't give up. He kept those legs churning. Here it is. Fakes the handoff, goes into the line. Now watch, he just moves the pile, and at the last second, reaches out, falls down, ball in the end zone, touchdown, and the Griffins do get into the 50s.
Well, and we commented how tentative Justin Elway looked in taking a hit on that drive, heading towards the end zone very quickly, or correction, the sideline, avoiding the hit, but boy, he lowered his head and his shoulder and hit pay dirt. So Los Alamitos 54-7, 4:36 left on the clock. And Gamarnik lines up to punch it through for the extra point.
This is one of those games where you and I start rooting for the clock. Just keep on moving.
Kick is up, and that is good. So the lead continues to spread, 55-7. 34-36, and round one goes to Los Alamitos. Their opponent will be decided tomorrow night, Bishop Amat versus Redlands. And by the way, Bishop Amat traveling to take on Redlands. That game being held at the University of Redlands. Possible site of round two action for the Griffins. We'll see.
Other than the first 2 or 3 seeds in the tournament, I think a lot of these games could go either way. So Mr. Filer can do all the predicting he wants, but this thing can go any which way, prior that is.
Well, I think you'd have to say, and there's been a lot of talk about Long Beach Poly. Are they the team that they have been in the past? And, you know, they had the one loss against De La Salle. They do play in a weaker league. They are very physical. But there are some teams that may be able to take Poly down even before the finals. It should be interesting. A lot of these games well worth seeing. That's taken by an up back.
I don't know that he's an up back.
He's about 2 backs in one. That's number 72, Richard Ramirez, and all smiles.
And he's listed at 215 pounds, and I think that was just his right leg. I don't think.
And he's obviously been eating well this season, but good to see him get the feel of the ball.
He had a lot of fun on that play.
So the Rams will have one more shot at it as Radcliffe checks in. Radcliffe is going to keep it and stumbles forward, gets across the 40-yard line.
It'd be kind of fun here to see Millikan with one last drive, get down, maybe get a score, feel a little better about themselves as they come off the field at the end of the game.
Well, and at this point, you're playing for next year. You're playing for confidence. You're playing the first time in the playoffs in 5 years. And I'll tell you something, with all these juniors, Coach Diego is going to have a nice-looking team next year.
I agree. He's got a lot of young players out there. And again, I'll say it, as between Radcliffe and Reggie Foster, both juniors, you don't really want either of them sitting out next year while the other guy's on the field. They've got to do something about finding a way to get them both in the lineup at the same time.
Other players that are getting Division I interest, of course, we mentioned Reggie Foster getting looks from Colorado. Daniel Kirkendall is getting interest from Fresno and San Jose State. Number 9, he goes both ways. Going to give that to Cerna.
He's gone.
Cerna, and what you said it, Cerna goes around the corner, and with the second team defense in, and wouldn't it be nice, your words, for the Rams to put some points on the board? They did, and you can't ask to end any better.
And look how excited they are. There's Cerna, ball in the left hand, around the left side, and boy, terrific speed. He just outruns everybody on the defense easily into the end zone, 60 yards. And that makes Millikan feel a whole lot better about things.
Extra point is up, and that is good. Sanchez punches it through. So with 3:17 left, the Rams put up 7. There you see it, 14-55, closing the gap a little bit, but that more a moral touchdown. Morale for next year, for the off season, they're going to hit the weight room just after the holidays. And that's a nice memory to leave this 2002 season with.
And you know what? With 3:17 left, they're hoping maybe to get the ball back one more time before this thing is over.
Well, the question is, you might as well practice your onside kick. Can't hurt anything. The game's done.
Let's see if they make that decision. Let's see if they go with the onside. Griffins with the hands team in. I see now 10 of the 11 Griffins are up within about 15 yards of each other.
Tripp, Mentor, Klein, Olmsted all up front.
Mandis, Childs got their good hands people in. Cason, So they're expecting the onside kick, and they don't get it.
Well, and maybe they should have done it because Estes takes it on his 2-yard line, and he's someone you have to watch out for. He gets run out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
Estes didn't give that one what he might normally do. He knows it's the end of the game, and he saw he had no place to go, just scampered out of bounds at the 20.
Well, 3:10 left in the season for the Rams. And incoming is Jimmy Barnes, number 14. So all the quarterbacks going to get a few snaps here tonight. Justin Elway with an excellent drive for a touchdown. Kind of got his, got some grass stains on the uniform.
That was good and important work for him. Jim Barnes, 6'3", 205-pound sophomore, now gets some work, and this might be the future of the Los Alamitos Griffins with Jim Barnes. Now, he does know the coach, doesn't he?
Well, I sure hope so. Oken with the carry.
Oken now leaving the game, so we're seeing even more subs for Los Alamitos. Brock
teams,
Riley out there now. Brock Riley, a junior.
Both teams have all their timeouts.
Patrick Brusso out there, senior.
So Jim Barnes from the shotgun.
Up.
We have movement.
Again, a little more movement by the Griffins. That's going to be another 5-yarder. 6 penalties, but 3 of them here in the 4th with substitutes. So you really got to throw those out and not think about it. And guess what? It's not against Los Alamitos. It's against Millikan. I didn't exactly have my finger on the pulse of that one. Offsides must be. Millikan must have jumped. Encroachment. That's the 7th penalty against the Rams tonight.
2:18, clock now back underway. Barnes going to hand it off. That goes right up the middle. Nice bit of running room there. That given off to number 34, Joshua Jones.
Josh Jones, 6 foot, 205 junior, getting some work in there. Zach Barnes, number 81, I think just came in for the Griffins.
Clock now under 2 minutes. Nice part about having a Thursday night game is the Griffins are going to have a lot of opportunities to scout, and they will be out in force. Already hearing that there will be the coaches splitting up and going to different games, looking at some of the opposing teams that the Griffins may face.
Jarek Janikon also was in at tight end for the Griffins. Alex Main in for the Griffins, number 75. A lot of people getting some work now. Love to see it.
Oken checks out.
Tom Murphy, I think, 65, also in for the Griffins. I hope I pronounced that right. Jakrit Janikon, tight end, 6'2", 188-pound senior.
Now, with all of the tough pre-league games, we did not see as many of the subs as you would normally see, as Jones tries to get around the corner on the far side.
I think Scott Hayter may have come in, number 82 for Los Al. Christian Flyer in.
We are now down under a minute. One more play from scrimmage, and this should be done.
Jason Romero in, number 69, 290-pounder. Think we can spot him?
Probably not a problem. So Los Alamitos will go to 10-0-1. Coach Barnes, 216 career victories. For Millikan, they will go to 6-5 with the loss here in week 11. Clock stops now at 10-yard lines with a flag. That's procedure against the Griffins.
Now we finally got the 6th penalty of the game against Los Al. With 10 seconds left, one running play. This game is done.
So the competition likely to pick up fast is the round one game is 10 seconds away from, in fact, forget about it. It's done.
Good. They're going to just run it out. I like that. Nobody gets hurt on the last play. No players don't get too excited. Exactly what you want. You don't want any hitting there at the end. Just some handshakes. This thing's over.
And let's see on the far side if we can get any. It looks like Rollins on some crutches. Not sure. I guess the question is Espinoza, number 77, who went out. Both teams congratulating each other. So typical in high school sports, the nice handshake and congratulations. And the Millikan Rams have nothing to be ashamed about. A great season, get into the playoffs after a 5-year hiatus. We're going to take a quick break and be back with the post-game thoughts. There you see it from the vet, 55-14. We'll be back in just a moment.
This edition of the CIF Division I football playoff game is the sole property of the CIF Southern Section and cannot be reproduced or retransmitted without the express written consent of the CIF Southern Section. The CIF Division I football playoff games are proudly sponsored by Toyota and your Southern California Toyota dealers. CIF and Toyota supporting tomorrow's stars today. LATV3's coverage is brought to you locally by the family and friends of the Los Alamitos Griffin Football Booster Club.
Winston, just one more inning, Grandma.
Ever notice how many things today kids can do without actually moving? A whole lot of things their parents used to do the hard way. So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part, which makes exercise even more important for children. In fact, new research tells us the best time to enhance bone development is during childhood and adolescence. And just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Healthy bones come from healthy habits. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello. Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
For more advice on how kids can build strong bones, visit AAOS.org, a public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Hey, guys, check this out. They want me to register with the Selective Service.
Hey, man, you 18. You got to register. It's the law.
Big deal. What are they going to do if I don't register? One thing for sure, you'll never get a government job.
Or federal loans for college.
And you'll never pass a background check. Because not signing up is a felony, man. Still think it's cool?
And now you can register with Selective Service online at www.sss.gov.
That is cool.